Hello folks, hope you're doing well. Just a quick video. Yesterday while doing the assisting the chef situation with the free food at the church thing, I was speaking to, I think his wife, about exercising your faith and building your faith, and understanding what your faith can see, and then testing it, building upon it, so that your faith can see more, so you can then possibly receive more. Yeah, because the reality is, you can't receive what you can't see yourself receiving. Not from God, you can't. Yeah. I mean, over a prolonged amount of time, got to be at least 10 years. I wrote down about 10 years ago the home that I'd like to have. And, that's been spoken about with God many, many times since then, probably well over 1,000 times in that 10 years. Adding details, changing details, as things have changed in my life over that period of time. And so for that, my faith can see that, but also see it in fine detail as well. Pretty fine detail, very, very fine details about what the property will have, and what will be there, and how it will be used, and yeah. Well, even as I've shared about 11 years ago, I wrote down what I felt God was telling me about a wife, and to the point where I met someone who ticked most of those things. She ended up being married and having the wrong sort of nature. Yeah. It wasn't just, Father, I need a wife, so provide that and give no details and have nothing. Because that's generic, and generic stuff. If you say to God, I need a car, and I need you to find me a good car at a good price, I'm going to be looking on this site and this site and this site, and I'm going to keep looking, but please guide me to that car. A year later, you then find a car by looking every day on these sites. You then find a car that's a good deal. And you start telling people God did this, and they start asking, okay, what exactly did God do to make this happen? Oh, well, I asked God, and how long did it take? A year. A year? And you're saying God did this? Wow, okay. Yeah. I met a bloke only the other day in the car park to the Ferry Village Woods who paid £2,000 for a Volvo Estate 2011 in very good condition. Very good condition. £2,000 he paid, which is about half price of what other people are charging. He bought it off a mechanic, and he got an incredible deal. And he didn't ask God to guide him, but he's still got a lovely car at a good deal. So if you're asking God to provide you with a lovely car at a good deal, this bloke got that without asking God. So is it possible if you get one after a year, that it wasn't God in any way, shape or form? That it's just that you asked God, but you did all the work and you found one in the end? How is that in any way, shape or form going to strengthen your faith? Because certainly the devil was going to tell you that wasn't God, that was you. Because it looks like it was you, right? Yeah. That's why when you ask God, you get more detail. You ask God for the details. Okay, Father, I need a new car. I need a car that's going to be suitable for me. Father, what car should I be looking for? What car are you telling me I should have? Okay, I'm going to write that down. What year? Okay, what colour? Right. And then when you find that, because you've written it down, you've told people that you believe God's going to get you this car, this colour, and this sort of age, model, sort of thing. And then that car is there in your driveway. People go, whoa, really? Wow. It's the colour you asked for. It's the colour you believe God was going to get you. And it's a year. And it's that model. Wow. Because your faith saw more, when that then happens, your faith is then built more, isn't it? So yeah. Well, it's like training. If you're training and if you're trying to build your physical muscles, then fine-tuning the exercise is quite often very, very important, because the way we exercise, well, things like deadlift. Some people deadlift in different ways. They can have their legs wider, their arms wider when they lift. And because of the way they lift, they might be missing out certain areas of their body, which if they were doing the technique in a different way, they'd be using different parts. So now if they want to strengthen those other parts, they now have to fine-tune an exercise to focus just on those bits that they missed out. Yeah. So fine-tuning in building strength, in exercising, is important at times. But certainly I've found that, and I've done videos about it, that I've had tennis elbow, and that's because of the fact that my wrist on the right hand side didn't develop strength. The muscles below and above, they didn't develop strength around the area. They were quite weak. So therefore, when I'm trying to do shoulder raise to the side, because the muscles at the wrist area are quite weak, it means that the elbow is having to do a lot more, and the muscles around the elbow are having to do a damn sight more to help me get that weight up and to stabilise the arm at that angle. And so I had to then say, okay, I've got to strengthen those particular muscles and focus on exercises where I can do those particular muscles, and then I can do that exercise and not have a painful elbow. And it's worked. But fine-tuning with regards to spiritual and your faith is also therefore relevant, because it helps your faith to build more. The more you fine-tune, the more when it happens, look, the more you fine-tune, the more likely it is if it happens, it's God. But, for example, if your faith can see 7 or 8 different things that you're believing in God for, these huge things, just because your faith can see it, it doesn't mean you're definitely going to get all of those things. It means that with all those things, it's a maybe. If your faith can't see it, it's not a maybe, it's a no. You won't get any of those things if your faith can't see it. You might get them all. Likelihood is you're going to get some of those things, not necessarily all. But if you can't see it, you won't get any. And that's the point now. It's very much the case, talking about to revive the other day and 250 people giving their lives to God. Okay. Part of the problem is that church for so many years has been calling out for revival. So when they then go to these events, do they truly believe that they're going to get the revival they're calling out for now? Because if you've been praying for this for years and years and years and years, and you haven't got it, your faith gets diminished. It doesn't get built. And it's partly because of the fact that even when they're calling out for revival, and it's a generic revival with hardly any details whatsoever, and they're still not getting it, that when they're calling out for revival in the future, they have hardly any faith to believe in that now, because of the fact they've been asking God for 25 years, 30 years for this. Yeah. There's a song by, which I think is possibly on the description of videos. I'm not sure if it is. Let me have a quick look. We've got For Him for Future Generations, but there's one called The Message by For Him, and I don't think that one is on, so I might have to add that one. But for future generations, it's fine for this point, I suppose. Well, of course, when it comes down to it, the church has been praying for that, because certainly the song The Message was talking very much about that, very much about the fact of there's a harvest. That harvest is ready. The fields are white. The time has now come. There's a harvest ready to be brought in. That was in 96. 96! That song was being sung then. They were crying out for revival then. So your faith can be built or it can be diminished. It can die. Set your faith in certain things can. And that's why that I've said with regards to the church I was in before, the Pentecostal one, I understand. They weren't laying on of hands, and that's probably because of the fact they've laid on of hands before and nothing's happened. And they've done that so many times that they just won't do it again. Yeah, because their faith and their hope in that has just gone. They have nothing left where that's concerned now. And I understand that. I do. I'm not saying it's good. I'm simply saying I understand that may be the reason why they don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, is it good? No, it isn't. It's not good to be in that situation, certainly not. Yeah, so, yeah. So it's just another message on Facebook. I don't know why. I've got Facebook on, so... Yeah, anyway. So, yeah. Yeah. Faith is something which we need to take care of. Yeah, because, as I said, you're supposed to go from no understanding of God to having that mustard seed size of faith, but then building that faith and being able to see more and being able to fine-tune that faith to the point you go from faith to knowledge. Because going from faith to knowing, not knowledge, knowing is better. So yeah, that's where we're supposed to be going, from no faith to knowing. Because when you're in knowing, it's no longer a case where you have to sort of stand in faith, because you know God's going to do it. So no worries. I know for a certainty that if I know for a certainty that God's going to do something, because I know God, I know that He's led me and guided me to ask that thing and to believe in that thing, and I know it's His will, so I don't need to stress about that at all. I don't need to pray about it anymore. It's just what it is. Yeah. But with so many, that little mustard seed of faith has been diminished even further. And that's why I say, to me, that's why it is very much a case that I'm hoping, really hoping, that now is the time that God is going to do these amazing, beautiful things, not because I deserve it, but in many ways because I don't. Because if God can do these amazing things for me and I don't deserve it, then everyone else out there is someone who doesn't deserve it, and so therefore God can do these amazing things for them. But in seeing God doing amazing things, hopefully it will help people's faith to slightly rise. And that's the point. As I say, it's about if you go to a church, either that church should enhance you or you should enhance them. Yeah. Certainly it is a case where I can learn certain things. Certainly God can teach me how to be more loving and how to walk in love with those people. Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know. Okay. You take care, God bless, and yeah. Speak to God about your faith and exercise it, and yeah. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'll speak to you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Rest of the week and weekend. Yeah, we're coming up to weekend now, so yeah. Enjoy. Speak to you soon. God bless.